Jay Tolisano here with another episode of Financing the American Dream, and today we are coming to you from a little seaside community known as Blackrock. Blackrock is part of Bridgeport, Connecticut. Today we'll be meeting with Caitlin Walsh, a top producing realtor with Denise Walsh & Partners. We're going to be talking about renting versus owning and what's been going on in the market over the past few months. Let's go meet up with Caitlin. All right, now we're on site with Caitlin Walsh. Caitlin, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, excited to be here.
So looking forward to talking about the real estate market, right? It's been crazy busy. A lot of people have been renting, but a lot of people have been buying, multiple offers. Tell us what's going on.
So the rental market has always been pretty consistently busy in Blackrock. It's a beautiful place to live. So we have a huge slew of buyers and renters coming from New York City that are moving to Connecticut. Interest rates are low, so there's already more buyers in the market. Same thing with the rental market. Both are busy, but why don't we go inside and check out this apartment?
All right, let's head on in.
So we're here in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. We're seeing apartments like this fly off. They're only on for a couple of days on the market usually before they start to get offers. The interesting thing is that we start to talk to people about whether they could buy something like this and what that means for them. So I know you have your own thoughts on renting versus buying.
Well, of course, my preference would be that someone buy their own home, right? It's the American dream. They can build equity, tax deduction, and the American dream of owning your own home, right? So I prefer to see people buy. I think you may too, but...
You and I are on the same page.
Yeah, exactly. Well, why don't we head over to Harborview, a little hot spot, and kind of talk some of the numbers on what it looks like for someone to rent or to own, because I will tell you, I've been doing a lot of analysis, and what people think they're gonna go rent for, they can ultimately end up buying a home for. Let's promote home ownership.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, let's head on over.
Let's go!
All right, Caitlin, now let's dive right into the numbers, okay? So that home that we were in is probably around $300,000 to $350,000, would you say?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I worked up some numbers, and I ran numbers on a $325,000 purchase with close to $12,000 down, and total out of pocket would be about $23,000. That's down payment plus closing costs. The payment here is $2,400 a month. So we know that unit would rent for about $2,000. Someone can buy it for $2,400. What's your take on that?
That's a fantastic point. They're building equity. They're not giving someone else the money to pay their mortgage. The flip side of that is with that particular apartment, that $2,400 is before calculating any rent from the second apartment. So you could potentially live there for under $1,000 a month. But when you look at the other price points as well, let's say single families upwards of the $500,000 range, the numbers start to get really competitive. So in some cases, it's actually less expensive to buy the home than to rent it in the first place.
And I've even done these rent versus own comparison on $1 million properties for agents often, and it's like eye-opening when you see, okay, I can pay X for rent or Y to own it, and the numbers are really comparable. Yes, you have to have the down payment money, but a lot of these folks do. They just don't realize what goes behind the numbers.
Exactly. And in the higher end price points, we're actually seeing a huge boom in the rental market. So in a lot of cases, it's significantly less expensive to buy it than to rent it.
Now I want to touch on one last thing before we sign off here, which is the market is super busy, multiple offers, and I know one of the things that you really pride yourself on is setting up that initial offer that's going in so that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and that's not just a saying, it's real. Tell us about that.
You couldn't be more on point with this. It's not just 1 or 2 people that you're bidding up against now. It's 9, 10, 12 offers on the table. So one of the things that you can do to really make your offer stand out is make sure, number one, you get pre-approved by somebody that has a great reputation. It's a huge part of the offer. A little personal letter doesn't hurt your situation either. And just making sure that you're doing everything you can to present a really compelling package to make yourself stand out.
You have to be buttoned up, multiple offers. You know, people writing offers on the hood of the car, barring any snow like we had today.
As long as it's legible.
Yeah, exactly. But I know the real estate market is crazy. I think it's going to continue to be crazy this year. I don't know what you're seeing, but the numbers are still up.
No one can predict the future, but I don't see any sign that this is going to stop anytime soon. The activity is really consistent, and a lot of it's driven by super low inventory, and that's not really changing. So the demand is growing, the inventory is staying pretty stagnant. I see this lasting for a while.
Listen, I want to thank you very much for giving us a little bit of tour of Blackrock and the real estate community. We're here at Harborview, a hot little spot that I know my family loves to come to for breakfast.
Absolutely.
So really appreciate you being here. Keep doing great things out in the market, okay?
Thanks, great to see you.
All right, and that's it, and that's a wrap for the American Dream TV and Financing the American Dream, coming to you from Blackrock, Connecticut.